Okay, we're sticking with China here, but we're going to get into some artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence.
And I do this in the context of ice skating. I'm sorry, it's not rollerblading, Basil, but this is CNN.
The next best thing.
The next best thing. U.S.-born figure skater Zhu Yi under attack. Under attack! What happened?
Oh no.
After fall on Olympic debut for China.
Are Canadian truckers getting them?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Chinese social media is on...
Chinese social media is attacking her.
Chinese social media is on fire after U.S.-born figure skater Zhu Yi, who's representing China, finished last in the women's short program team event. CNN's David Culver is in Beijing.
And hear the disappointment in her voice.
Her voice, yes.
Yeah.
Heart goes out to her to see what she went through. This was her debut, and she's getting crushed by people on social media there in China.
She sure is, Amara. All of this centers around this 19-year-old falling hard, crashing into the wall in her opening combination. Then later in the program, Zhu Yi missed another jump. Zhu finished with the lowest score of the event.
Hate to see it,
that
Bob.
brought Team China down to 5th place in the standings. Now, here's where all of this gets really personal. Zhu, who was born in the U.S. to a Chinese immigrant family, decided to compete for China in 2018. So she gave up her American citizenship. She even changed her name from Beverly Zhu to Zhu Yi. She was eager to prove herself to the Chinese public. Instead, she is facing this firestorm of backlash because of her performance. Now, on Chinese social media, the hashtag Zhu Yi has fallen gained 200 million views in just a few hours.
200 million!
Online questioning why Zhu was picked to represent China at the expense of an athlete born in this country. She's faced criticism here before for not being able to speak fluent Chinese. One comment on Sunday reading, "Please let her learn Chinese first before she talks about patriotism."
And patriotism in China, not America. They don't clarify that, but of course it's CNN. So,
Well, it's hilarious because, I don't know, it might be too much to go into, but I mean, it's kind of racist. I mean, what the Chinese are doing here. I mean, it's, that wouldn't stand in the U.S. Just because they were born in another country doesn't mean they can't, be patriotic. I mean, look at Obama. Just kidding.
You're going to get us in trouble. Fake news.
Just kidding. As a joke.
Fact
This
check.
is a comedy show.
Well, the story is about her and how she was born in America and she switched to Chinese citizenship, blah, 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 blah. She fell, disgrace to China. 200 million views. Wow. That's crazy.
I know, like almost the population of the U.S.
Of the U.S., yeah, 2/3 of the population of the U.S. in like a few hours. But that's not really, I think, the big story here, because, of course, everyone's talking about this. Buried in this CNN article, which kind of repeated the whole thing, is this. It says, others have taken aim at her allegedly privileged background and family ties. Zhu's father, Zhu Songchun, is an award-winning artificial intelligence scientist. He joined Peking University from the University of California, Los Angeles in 2020. Okay, just dropping a little bit of knowledge, CNN, but not really getting into the details, because according to an article that was published on Yahoo back on September 2020, mirroring South China Morning Post, headline, Artificial Intelligence Expert Zhu Songchun to return to China from U.S. And it says here, a leading Chinese artificial intelligence researcher in the U.S. has returned to China as Beijing strives to become a global leader in the field. Remember, this is September 2020. It talks about how he's an award-winning computer vision expert and all this kind of stuff. And it says here, the university said it was working with Beijing City and the central government to set up a new and separate AI research institute in collaboration with other leading Chinese universities. So he's in with a Chinese elite.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing. I don't think this young lady would even have an opportunity to switch, citizenship, unless it wasn't for a dad of this stature. I don't think a normal, just a Chinese person.
Especially how seriously the Chinese take the Olympics.
Right. It goes into some history here from, 1968 at Harvard, blah, blah, blah. But here's what it says. Here's the interesting stuff about this character, Zhu. Zhu is an expert in computer vision, cognitive science, and other interdisciplinary studies. At an AI conference held in Chengdu in May last year, Zhu said that, quote, 70% of the human brain's cerebral cortexes are used for processing vision. Research into computer vision opens the gateway to artificial intelligence, end quote. 1 year after he joined UCLA, he received the highest honors in computer vision, the Marr Prize, with other researchers for their study of the process of decomposing images into visual patterns, also known as image parsing. Last year, his team published a research paper establishing the potential for robots powered by artificial intelligence to earn the trust of humans in a project funded by the U.S. Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, DARPA.
Oh, wow. He's a DARPA guy.
DARPA funded his AI research to get humans to trust robots. Let's look at all the stuff we've been covering with our Flippy update. This guy was directly involved in the research to make that the robotics and all the AI happen. Zhu and his researchers,
very interesting.
Yeah, Zhu and his researchers looked at, quote, explainable AI that allow robots to explain their behavior effectively when performing complex tasks and earn people's trusts. This is the guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Another Chinese, one more thing here, and then I'll let you ramble here. Another Chinese AI expert in the U.S. and, excuse me, and a longtime acquaintance of Zhu, Microsoft's former head of artificial intelligence and research, Harry Shum, was also appointed by Peking University in August to chair the academic committee of the Institute of Artificial Intelligence. I mean, we're talking about a brain drain here from the U.S. to China.
Right. That's what I was that's kind of the big story here, is a major brain drain, which has been a core principle of the Chinese strategy against the U.S. But I think it is interesting how not only was it the brain drain with her father, which almost certainly influenced her, chances getting into the Olympics.
Yeah.
But, they're also going for an athlete drain.
Well, here's the thing. The daughter failing at the Olympics in some weird way could be used as kind of an example with this AI professor guy saying, hey, if we can come up with just some algorithm, some AI, to help perfect the training of our athletes, then we can perfect, the sports area or whatever. I mean, I can picture that kind of conversation taking place with the elite here, with his daughter, being the ridicule of the nation. So I don't know. I think there's more to it that we just don't know.
There's definitely a lot in there. I don't know. As I'm absorbing all the info, I can't quite articulate.
Right. See what I'm saying? It's
the whole picture, but this is definitely all connected somehow.
There's something going on that with the Chinese government, with the centralization, with the AI, with this young lady. And, on the surface level, I don't like seeing anybody fail in sports. I know the feeling. It's a horrible feeling, especially at the Olympics. You got pressure of your whole nation, and it's a big deal, especially from other countries. And China obviously takes this stuff very, very seriously. I mean, it's a big deal. I get it. It's embarrassing, but also behind the scenes, what is actually going on? What are the consequences perhaps from this, or actions to be taken? Who knows? But I just thought it was interesting that this public story from the Olympics would provide us this weird set of data from behind the scenes that we otherwise wouldn't have focused on.
Was all that in the same article?
No. The only thing in the CNN article was the mention that she comes from a privileged background mentions her father and, ties to AI in Peking University. It takes this South China Morning Post news article that was mirrored by Yahoo back in September of 2020 to get into some of those details. And especially the mention of DARPA was part of that discussion.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. Some interesting things to keep in mind and keep track of. Especially because this Olympics is all about robots and AI and central bank digital yuan and just all the things. You know, it's all part of the propaganda of the Olympics this year, the Winter Games. So I don't know. You can't get away from it. Can't get away from AI, robotics, and the whole takeover there. So
yeah. Somehow it's all connected.
Yeah.
Don't know. Don't see it yet, but
eventually,
maybe it will reveal itself at the closing ceremony or something.
It's all coming together.
When the robots take over.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for bringing that.